Okay, Cancer friends. So moving forward with listening to this part segmented just for you, I'm assuming that you listened to the intro in the beginning because I talked about things there that I'm not going to talk about here that are important for you to understand what we're about to discuss. This is for you if Cancer is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Cancer placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. Okay, so we already have reviewed, this is a very retrograde month, but Mercury is waking up, so you will start to feel the energy of New Year, bubbling through. Mars still will be retrograde for a while. It has been featuring retrograde in your sign, and it will go back there this month. The brief pop in here into Leo, it has been, and now it's going back to focus on you. So basically, since last September of 2024, this very, very, very deep reflective inward focus on your identity, on your physical energy, on how you use your physical energy, your self-expression, who you are, how you present who you are into the world, has been a very deep dive. And we're all going through Mars retrograde together. But Cancer people, you have a special layer of this. Really, your opportunities are nothing short of being able to completely revamp how you use your energy. And by the time all of this gets clear, in the months to come, that you can just be a completely different person in the way of how you use your energy. And this can change everything for you. You've been reassessing your motivations, your personal goals, how you assert yourself, how you get things done. There's just a lot of wasting of energy that goes on in humans in general. And having this deep dive is a really beautiful blessing because you're able to see those inefficiencies and able to start to get online to make this energy efficient. Of course, because being in the sign of Cancer, it will bring up these things with family. It will bring up these things from the past, things that you may be angry about, things that you have to get resolved, things that you may need support in getting resolved because, you can't manage it on your own. Patterns, familial patterns, housing, housing your unit where you live, or housing like real estate, business, things like that. Your family of origin, your ancestry, and your family that you've created. So you're still in this very deep dive of getting some things worked out here and doing major reevaluation. Mars energy can be very obsessive. The polarity we're looking at here with the retrograde is laziness and avoidance versus obsessive hyperfocus. So you'll notice that you're just kind of completely stepping away from certain areas of your life, and then you're obsessively hyperfocusing on others, and as you find your balance, you're sort of, working out these extremes. Now, at the same time as all of this is going on, we're also going to have a full moon in your sign. All right, so January 13th, the days are on January 13th. We have fullness, completion, fruition, possibly drama coming to your first house. Okay, so the days around the 13th, the middle of the month. More focus on everything Cancerian, your inner worlds, your family, your housing, etc. So look for something notable to happen here at the middle of the month. This is a really wonderful time, in our 13 moon cycles. When we have a full moon, a new moon in our own sign, this is a very special chance, especially here with the full moon, to elucidate, to bring to the surface things that have just been under the surface, address the elephant in the room, get something out finally so that it doesn't have to bother you anymore. So in that way, this could be very dramatic, in a challenging way, because it can be things that have to come out, and it might not come out very gracefully, but it also could be something super positive, like you accomplish something, you reach a goal, you close on a house, you do something significant with your housing, something that you've been working on with your family comes to fruition, you get important news, your life changes in some sort of way on the Cancerian level. So I think the next logical place to move in the chart is in the polarity here, from the first house of all of this Cancer energy to the seventh house. Cancer and Capricorn are a dual pair. They represent inner world, your outer world, your place in the home, your place in the office or out in the world, your public life, your private life, this dual seen here. So while your inner world is getting very, very, very much addressed and worked on, your outer world is also popping up here. Mercury will get into Capricorn. The sun is there elucidating, bringing, light and information from Mercury, and brightness and focus from the sun, and strategy from Pallas Athena. So this can be a really great time that you get some things situated with work, with your job, with employment. You get a strategy, you get a plan, and it just works out nicely that, at the beginning of the year, these Capricorn energies are happening, and this really helps us to get our focus for the year to come. Now, specifically for Cancer, this highlights your house of relationships. So you're going to be in talks with people. You're going to be working things out. You're going to be, having important meetings, no doubt, with Mercury there. And this is a good time to do that. The one thing to watch out for is just the possibly unresolved things that Mars is working on. So if you feel angry about something, if you can get out that anger before you get into the discussion and not let the discussion be about getting out the anger, you'll be so much better off. Like do a role play with a friend where you say the things you want to say, and then when you are in the actual situation, you don't actually say them, or you write everything out terribly, what you want to say, and then you don't wind up saying that kind of situation. But if you go into talks and communication at this time, especially because of this opposition that is made for the Cancer placements, this could be a little bit warlike. And as I discussed, not only do we have this polarity between, you versus other people, we also have Pluto clashing with Mars. So there's probably going to be a showdown. And this is like the end of December, the first part of January. There's a showdown with someone or someones who you've had feelings about that have to come out. So yeah, look out for that. Try to tread lightly and try to get yourself more clear before you actually get into those discussions. Because this is very much centered about, this is kind of moving us along the spectrum here. We talked about the 7th house. Now we've got all this energy in the 8th house. We've got Pluto there. We've got the moon there at the 29th. We've got the new moon at 10 degrees of Aquarius. We've got Ceres there. We've got Venus there. The sun will get to Aquarius. So this story of me versus we really blends into my stuff versus our stuff, and really starting to get some things established in your money world. And there probably is going to be a showdown, a power struggle of some sort, where you're asserting the things that are important to you, with other people who are holding power in your financial sector. The Aquarian energies can give innovative solutions. We've got the Capricorn energies doing traditional things where you're trying to hold some sort of skeleton of things together, and then the tradition, the things that were always done. And then all of this Aquarius energy is representing the new way to build upon that skeleton. And so you're in talks with these people, these companies or these people in your life, trying to come up with solutions to this shared issue of these things that have been brewing for a while. Now, remember, there are 3 passes of this Pluto moon or Pluto Mars thing, beginning of November, now at the beginning of January, and then again at the end of April. So there is some sort of storyline that is getting worked out here, and this is another chapter. Now, I mentioned in the intro report that we also are starting back up with our eclipse season. So at the end of the month, you may start to see, even second half of January, really, information, news along the lines of Aries, Libra, polarity, which are the houses of the 1st and 7th house, which are already activated by all this other energy. Then the eclipse stories themselves, me versus we, coming up very strongly. This is the last chapter of a 2-year chapter that started in early 2023 that ends here in the first half of 2025. Many of you will be able to readily, assess, wow, okay, yes, there is something very specific going on with me in relationships with other people for these last 2 years. Something's been brewing, something's been building, another part of the story is coming through here. The end of this story might not really come until the spring or the fall for you all, Jananda. But this is happening. And specifically for Cancer, your home versus work, your fourth house, which is Cancer house, versus your Capricorn house, which is the 10th house, is being lit up. So this is very common in astrology that we see themes or polarities that are strong for a person at a given time are often reiterated by multiple layers of energy. So it would have been enough to have Mars in Cancer and the full moon in Cancer and then all this energy in Capricorn and that story of home versus work coming up. But it's also happening from the eclipse storyline, and it's bubbling back up into the conscious space. Every 6 months, we have these eclipses that bring everything that were under the surface up to be looked at in a big, sometimes dramatic way. So you've got a big storyline that's building here again. Now we add to that Venus is going to go into Pisces. And as it does, it joins Saturn also in Pisces, Neptune is still in Pisces, and all of these long-term and then now this Venus short-term energy is accentuating your 9th house. So this brings up the story of education, of learning things, of expanding your horizons for your work or for your play. This is the story of long-distance travel. This is the story of balancing work and home and play and work, and really asking yourself, what the heck is it all for? What is it all for? What is your ultimate goal? And how much are you on track, or how far are you off track with the bigger goal of what it is all for? Something also important to note is that Venus moving through Pisces usually doesn't take very long. But because Venus is going to be starting its pre-shadow transit, I gave you the dates for that in the intro, so I'm not going to go over those again. But at the end of the month, we do start the Venus shadow period. And that Venus retrograde will take place over Venus in Aries and Venus in Pisces. So Venus will go into Pisces, it will pass on into Aries, and it will retrograde in Aries and go back into Pisces. So whatever the story is of Venus moving through your 9th house, moving through Pisces, is not as short term as it tends to be. So this is asking yourself, how can you earn money with international business? How can you broaden your horizons in your current business? Is there something for you in a different country or involving a different language? Do you need education to do what you want to with your job? Do you want to move into doing education for your work? And wherever Venus goes, it tends to bring money. So you may bring money back from the past. You may go back to a place that you loved before. At this time, travel someplace that you have been. But basically, international places and things far away might be coming up in a big way and have some relationship to your work and your earnings. So before we close out, I just want to mention again that Jupiter's movement. Jupiter is in Gemini from May 2024 through June 2025. It's a great expander. It's been moving through your house of your intuition, helping you to step further out of this battle between faith and fear. Many Cancers are worriers, and this Jupiter in the 12th house of your unconscious mind can serve to escalate those fears to the point where you have to do something about it, which helps you to get the discipline. Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter's in the house of Pisces. See, there's a tag team story going on here with Jupiter for you and with Saturn, because Saturn is in the sign of Pisces. Pisces rules the 12th house. Saturn wants discipline in your mind. Jupiter is expanding your emotional and your intuitive faculties. So you're really having opportunities to heighten your intuition, to be able to tell the difference between your intuition and your fear, to develop that relationship with synchronicity, the language of spirit, talking to you at all times, which can help you to guide your actions, which can help you to use your energy in better ways, which is tied into the Mars retrograde, help you to have more discernment with the relationships in your life, and to make the business dealings and the decisions with home versus work that you need to make. So you see this beautiful little story is wrapping up, with all of these layers winding into each other in this magical way. If you love my content and you don't want to miss anything that I post, and you want all of my content early, then go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address in there, click receive, you'll get a welcome letter, and in the welcome letter, you'll get VIP access to my eclipse resource page, my retrograde resource page, my zodiac health tips, my 28-day very powerful virtual coaching program, and you'll get weekly astrology updates with all of the information that can help you make the most of the starry transits, including 1 month early, my monthly written star report that has the sweet and salty dates. These are the dates to be most awareful and careful of, and the dates to celebrate the most and plan your important things. And you get all of that as part of my VIP. Plus, podcast menus, and I know for sure YouTube don't always notify you whenever I post new content, even if you're subscribed, even if you click the bell, even if you enable notifications. So if you want to be sure that you don't miss anything from me, then the best way to do that is to be part of this VIP group, because I will let you know as soon as I have anything posted, and you will get early access to all of it. I also sometimes have private promos for my VIP group that the public never sees. And if you want to study astrology with me, go to www.beastropro.com, beastropro.com, to see my astrology certification course. If you want to learn astrology to help yourself and your friends, or you want to earn money, that is my specialty. I can tell you how to make your astrology practice work and earn money from your love of the stars. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.